Hey, Internet, we are back. It is Wednesday, and we are back mightier than ever. No one has lycanthropy yet. I'm sure no one will come down with lycanthropy. I mean, why would you do that right before the holidays, for goodness sake? Yeah, so welcome to our regular Wednesday night get-together. It is Dragon of Icespire Peak Night. We are playing the module, the adventure that's included with the D&D Essentials kit. And so far, I've been unsuccessful in killing anyone, but, we're only on episode 18. I'm just getting my tool sharpened, so who knows. But anyway, my name is Scott, also known as Wily Hobbit. Welcome to our Twitch community, our Twitch channel. So glad to have you aboard tonight. And we are in a gold mine, which you would think would be good news. But unfortunately, this gold mine has been infested or taken over by a group referring to themselves as the Whiskered Gang, and they are were-rats, the party has determined. They went into the mine and met with Zaliva. She's the leader of this little group, the Whiskered Gang, and they don't seem to be all that interested in leaving. They said they'd leave if the party would be kind enough to clear away the orcs that infested the were-rats' previous lair. It's kind of a pay-it-forward monster-style type situation. And I believe the orcs were driven from their mountain lairs by a white dragon who's taken up residence up in the Sword Peaks. But Don John Raskin, who was hired by the conglomerate that owns this Mountain's Toe gold mine, had other plans, and he offered to pay the party with whatever proceeds he could pull together out of the mine if they would stick around and rid the mine of the newest occupants and hopefully find the dwarven miners who work there. And so it began last session where the two guards that were manning the entryway to the mine itself were dispatched in a bit of combat. And so that's where we will pick things up. But before we do that, I'd like to have each of our players introduce themselves. And I would like to start. We will go ladies first. About Lulu, about yourself, and all that cool stuff.
Well, I could write a book about that, but I'm not going to. Hi, Becca. I'm playing Lulu, the level. You know what? Why not? Level 522.
Oh.
Druid Kobold.
Wow, 522. Wow. You must have a player's handbook that's like, this thick for 522 levels of druidic awesomeness. That's amazing. Nice.
I'm playing 2015. Yeah, I definitely do.
All right, very good, very good. And Jacob, the halfling, who is apparently having a bout of envy because he's quite green.
Yeah, or jealousy.
Yes.
Jacob's having some technical difficulties. I didn't really get that you were saying that I was actually green. I may have to drop here to figure out what's going on. My feedback in Zoom looks fine.
I mean, it's kind of cool. If you don't mind being green, I don't mind seeing you green. But
it's not easy being green, let me tell you. All right, I'll work on that. But hi, I'm playing Jacob, the merely level 3 cleric of Brandabaris, trickster. He's a slippery guy, but we'll try to keep you all entertained. And I'll see. I may have to drop Wiley and see if I can figure this.
Okay. Yeah, if you do, we'll kind of work along and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah,
so don't sweat it, man. Day in the life, buddy. And last but not least, wearing his holiday couture, our friend Ethan, the wizard.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chris, WikiVA at Discord and Twitch. My Twitter handle is below. I play Ethan, the 523rd level human diviner. He sometimes hears voices. He always sees the future. He knows what's going to happen today before anyone else does.
Even before the DM?
Yeah.
Before the DM. Right there. That's the benefit of being 523rd level and a diviner. That's what you get.
It is.
Yeah. It's nice for game prep.
It's like easy mode.
Right. Yeah. Throw it on easy mode. All right, and we are missing our friend Ms. Misery. She was unable to join us this evening. She'll be back next week. She plays Ezralyn, who is a half-orc fighter eldritch knight. Her background, she's been a mercenary, kind of a sword arm. She hails from Neverwinter, well to the north. And she brandishes a recent acquisition, a flame tongue longsword, which is very exciting when she uses the cantrip Booming Blade and then ignites the flame, and all sorts of interesting things befall as she vanquishes her enemies and all that other stuff or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's play D&D, shall we? So last time, again, the recap that I gave, the last session ended. The party is kind of collecting their breath. With them is Donjon Raskin, the new overseer to the Mountain's Toe gold mine. He fights with dagger and sling, tells tall tales of his whaling and fur trading and privateering and prospecting exploits. And the group has just dispatched 2 female were-rats that are now deceased at your feet. And through the process of their dying, they have shape-shifted back to their original form, which is that of 2 younger female humans, look to be in their maybe late teens. You're in a cavern, the opening to the mine complex. It's about 30 by 30, kind of misshapen natural cavern that's been hewn here and there to kind of round it out and make it a little bigger. There's a door in the eastern wall. There's a door in the south wall. You have already been through the door in the eastern wall when you went 1 chamber deeper and met with Zelina and her 5 henchmen were-rats in what looked to be kind of their common area. What would you like to do?
I think Ethan is going to touch what's his name on the arm and say, "Bon Bon, I'm not familiar with this cavern. Perhaps you are. Is there a way we could get to the dwarves and perhaps release them and have them help us in our fight?"
You know, that's not a bad idea, except for one thing.
Well,
and it's Donjon Raskin. But this is my...
That's what I said.
You said Bon Bon. But that's okay.
Yeah.
This is my first time in this mine complex, and I don't have a map, so I am not sure where we might find the miners. I don't know what's been done with them. I hope they're still here. But at any rate, 2 down. He kind of flips his magical sling around his finger. What's that?
We know we went through the east door the first time. Perhaps if we went through the south door,
we could try that. Maybe there's a way we can
find our miners.
We can find the miners, or maybe there's a way we can circle around and surprise the vermin that are all together. How does that sound?
Let's try that. Let's try that.
He'll look over at Lulu.
I think that's good.
What do you think, little one?
Lulu like bonbons.
He kind of...
Tasty.
What do you think about our plan to
we must
try
eat our
to...
new companion.
Yes, let's not eat the new companion. What do you think about our plan? Do you agree? Should we try the other tunnel and see if we can circle around and maybe get the jump? Ezralyn kind of nods, looks at the group. Yes, Lulu?
Maybe, but Lulu just want to make bonbons now.
Ezralyn kind of smiles and scratches under Lulu's chin, because Lulu's still sitting on Ezra's shoulder from the combat. And she says, well, when you get back to Phandalin, maybe that's a new item you can add to the menu at the Stonehill Tavern. I bet you bonbons would go over well. Here's what we should do, too. She scratches your chin again and gives you a nice head pat. Let's stack these bodies in front of that door, and maybe we can prop the door closed or somehow latch it so they don't come out and find these guards dead. And she starts dragging the bodies over, and there's all kind of manner of debris. There's rocks of various sizes, some of which looks like they might have been sitting on them around a fire ring. And she starts moving things around, and Don John jumps right up and helps her with that. And in no time, the door looks to be fairly well barricaded. All right.
The door to the east is
barricaded, yes. Yeah, she barricaded the correct door.
Okay.
Yeah. That would have been unfortunate.
All right, good.
All right, then, shall we? And Don John goes over, and he kind of listens at the door. I don't hear anything. Is everybody ready? Draw your weapons. Ezralyn still has the flame tongue out, the beautiful longsword, the flames just silently licking up the blade. Anybody that gets near her, you can feel the heat emanating from the blade. She nods, and Don John opens the door with his sling at the ready, and behind the door is a tunnel. It's 5-6 feet wide, and it goes straight southward, and it looks like, again, there's those oil lanterns, remember I described in the last episode? About every 8 feet or so, there's an oil lantern on one side of this tunnel. It looks like it's partly natural and partly hewn. You can see that there are pilasters propping up, the beams that go up the walls and across the ceilings and so forth, like you would expect to see in a mine. It looks like Jacob's got to reboot his zoomy zoom, so we're just going to kind of continue on, and we'll look at some funny camera positions until he returns, and then that should put the cameras back to where they belong. So no point in fussing with them. And Don John steps aside, and Ezra, per usual, takes the lead. Who would like to go behind Ezra as far as marching order? And Ezra and Lulu are together. Is that right, Lulu?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll fall in behind.
Okay. We'll put Jacob behind Ethan. And Don John will bring up the rear. He picks up his pack. Lead on, my lady. He kind of winks at Ezra, and she just kind of rolls her eyes a little bit, shakes her head, and steps into the flickering lit tunnel. It goes about 15 feet and opens into a cavern that actually opens to the right, which is, let's see, is that correct? Yeah, to the west. It's only about 10 feet north to south and about 20 feet east to west. And in this cavern, you just see a bunch of these pilasters, these wooden posts, used for shoring up the walls and the ceilings. It just looks like an area where they've got these stacked. And another tunnel exits the southwest corner of this corridor. Ezra kind of turns, looks back over her shoulder, and nods like, should I keep going? And she steps lively and continues on. When she goes about, it's not far, about 10 feet, the tunnel goes on straight and then bears east, but there's also a door on the right, on the west side. And she kind of stops and listens at the door. And she turns around and looks, she goes, I don't hear anything. Should I open it? She says to Ethan.
Yes, let's keep going.
Grabbed the wrong thing, sorry about that. Okay, she goes ahead and opens it. And inside the door, inside the room there, it's just about a 10 by 10 little small cavern. Again, the ceilings are only about 8 feet high, so you're feeling a little claustrophobic. But what's in here is a bunch of crates and some casks. It looks like some storage. It's dusty. There's bits of rubble and so forth, but nothing really appears to be of any consequence in here. Dave, you're still green, by the way. So, but welcome back. So she's going to continue on and follow the path, the tunnel around to the west. And it goes 50, 60 feet and curves around. And as she's leading you through, and again, there's still these oil lanterns hanging, burning, she stops and raises her hand. And she turns to Ethan. I hear voices ahead. It looks like there's a cavern that the tunnel turns to the left, which is north. And it goes into a lit cavern. And she's speaking pretty quietly.
Can I hear them?
You can
Can
roll.
I hear the voices?
You can roll the old perception if you'd like.
I would like.
You may do so. Jacob, you're behind
Well, I've got
Ethan.
12.
Okay. You barely hear some what sounds like probably muffled conversation. Jacob, you're behind Ethan.
No other noises than...
No. And Ethan is behind Ezra. Don John is behind you, Jacob, and Lulu is on Ezra's shoulder. Okay, I'm going to creep up. And she's got her sword out, kind of down to her side, a little bit behind her. She speaks that word again, Mo, and it extinguishes so that she can hold it kind of behind her without burning herself. And she steps up and follows the corridor, the tunnel to the north, and she stops abruptly and backs up, kind of stepping on your toes, Ethan. And she doesn't bother to wait and see if you're going to back up. She just like literally, she just backs up.
Yeah.
It's the where at chamber. They're all in there. I don't think they saw me. But I just realized there's a slight problem with our plan. This is the only way forward now.
Well, we needed to come this way anyway, as it turns out.
She looks back at Jacob, looks down. What do you say? You ready? Do you have some sort of trickery you can employ? There's 6 of them and 4 of us. And one of us is really little. And she kind of head pats Lulu on the head.
How long? A question for Dave. You had cast Shield of Faith on Ethan at the beginning of the last combat, as I recall. How long does that last?
I think you might be muted, Dave.
Yeah.
I said I knew you were going to ask that. I will look that up right now.
It's not a permanent condition, I can assure you of that.
I suppose I could have looked it up, but...
No, that's fine. Shield of Faith lasts 10 minutes based on my concentration. So, concentration has not been broken. It's just a question for Wiley of how long has been.
Yeah.
I'd say you're fine. You've only gone about 80 feet, and you opened a door and looked in a room and stacked some bodies and rubble against a door. So I would say you probably have about 2 minutes. Let's do that. Let's say you got 2 minutes left on your Shield of Faith duration. So does that mean I should push you into the room first, Ethan? Ezra kind of winks at you.
No. No, I think it means I should,
Is it lit?
Stay here.
In the room.
Yes, if you recall, the room has some torches lit, and some of those oil lamps are hanging in the room. There were 5 male were-rats, and the leader, Zaliva Varnaster, the female. So a total of 6 enemies are in this room, and they're all kind of around a table looking at something, kind of like they were when you were in there before. She's seated, a couple of them are seated with her, and the rest are standing. They're not really paying any attention, from what Ezra can tell you. Tunnel that you're in, and you can see the door you came through straight across the chamber. You're at the same end of the chamber that, at the west end of the chamber.
Right. So I can do something, but Ethan, I would have to forego the concentration on your shield.
Well, do what you need to do.
Don John pipes up. I could step up and try to hit one with my sling. I've got a ranged weapon here. What can you do there, little man? He looks down at Jacob.
I can cast a silence spell on you.
On me? Or them?
Okay, and Jacob goes like this. Boom. And at the back of the room, where the were-rats are,
Okay.
an exact duplicate of him appears. And I invoke duplicity, which creates an illusion of myself, which I can control. It will last for 1 minute, and it appears 30 feet away, so it's somewhere probably close to in their midst. And the best part of it all is I can cast spells through that sucker.
Oh, nice.
Good.
Okay, so can you see through it as well? I guess you could if you can cast spells.
That's
So-
the disadvantage. I cannot.
Okay.
I have to be able to see it.
Okay. So Ezra and Donjon are crouched in the... Donjon has come forward because he's got a ranged weapon. Lulu is on Ezra's shoulder. She has a ranged weapon. And peering in, they see, and you hear him gasp like, whoa, because you didn't really tell anybody what you were doing. And you appear in the center of the north wall.
Being a trickster.
Yeah, perfect. You appear, your image appears in the center of the north wall, facing southward. The party of were-rats, basically, if your group exits the tunnel and goes directly right along that wall, you would walk into them. They're on the south wall where that table is, all kind of looking over. Looks like maybe they're counting raw gold ore, that sort of thing. And you appear in there, and two of them, one of the males and the leader, are like, "Where did he come from?" Would you like to use
to
a
get the rest
surprise? Because I'm
surprise?
give you, Lulu, and Donjon a surprise go before we roll initiative, since you're, getting the jump on them. So what would you like to do? I'll let you go first since you're in the room.
I will use thaumaturgy
Okay.
to create an instantaneous sound that emanates from my point of where my illusion is,
Okay.
so my duplicate, to attract the rest of their attention, and it's a sound of thunder.
Okay. So you hear this.
So I'm basically, tactically, the goal of this, Wiley, is to have the illusion appear so they are not looking at the door that the rest of us are going to attack.
Okay, right, I got you.
To get their attention on the illusion and my duplicate.
Gotcha.
There's so many directions you could have gone with the sound. I was worried where you were going.
Well, I could have lifted a cheek, but that would have been bad.
Oh, jeez. Nice.
Given enough rounds.
Okay, so you hear this booming thunder, and they all stand up, and they're shocked, and they're looking, and there's a tunnel on the other side of that wall where your illusion is. If you remember, there's like about a 10-foot wide opening that goes into another chamber that kind of adjoins that. And you see dark shadows. Ezralyn, Lulu, and Donjon see the giant rats that are over in that section kind of scuttering around, startled by the thunder. And you hear them all yelling, "Oh my gosh, is that a cave-in? What's happening?" And they're all their attention is drawn to the illusion and to the northeastern end of the chamber where the illusion and the opening are. Lulu, would you like to take an action of support?
Yeah. Lulu will. Are they all like grouped together, kind of in an area?
Yeah, they're basically all kind of standing around a table. It looks like they were like doing something together, talking and counting something. Yeah.
Okay. And then Lulu will raise her spear a little bit and channel her druidic energy through that and cast Entangle on the rats in the middle of it.
Ooh. Love it.
Good choice.
That
And I
is
believe
freaking amazing.
I believe they have to succeed in a strength save of 12. Otherwise, I believe they're restrained or they're at least slowed. One of the two. I don't quite know.
Okay, so grasping weeds and vines sprout up out of the ground, and it's a 20-foot square area.
Okay.
So I'm going to say it surrounds them because the room is only about 30 feet west to east and 20 feet north to south. So just outside of this is the illusion of the halfling. and they sprout up and they turn it. It's like thistle and bramble and thorniness and difficult terrain, basically. Each must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained, and it can continue to try to make that strength check on its turn, each action, to free itself. And you said the DC is 12?
Yeah, strength DC of 12.
Okay, so let's check some saving throws. I got to make 6 of them. Here are the 5 males. Fail.
The question is,
Pass.
if they succeed, are they still under the
They're in difficult
terrain?
They're in difficult terrain. They're just not restrained. Okay,
Right.
2 passed, 1 failed. Oh, big saves. 3 passed, 1 failed. 4 passed, 1 failed. Here's Mama, and she passed. So only one of them is restrained. And let me just give you a restrained creature has a movement of 0, and all attack rolls against it have advantage, and all of its attack rolls have disadvantage. So you did manage to restrain one of them. Nicely done. Don John is going to fire his sling. Let's see what our AC is here. Oh, yeah. 1 hit, 1 miss, and another hit. So 2 hit, and he's going to just restrain. In fact, he's going to try to hit the same one twice. So that's 2. Oh, and he gets... Okay, yeah, that's right. That's 4 damage. Plink, plink, as 2 of his sling stones... Actually, 6 damage, I forgot his bonus. 2 of his sling stones hit the were-rat in the head, and it's like, the back of its head, and it's like, what the heck? And Ezra and Don John kind of slink back into the hallway. So I'll tell you what, since you're still in the tunnel, and they are fully distracted to the north and east, and they're kind of going to move toward the halfling's illusion at half speed, so they'll barely get there. One of them will not move at all because he's restrained. I will give him a strength save because it's his action, and he failed it, so he remains restrained. So I'm going to give you all another free round because you're still undetected in the tunnel. So now everybody's going to get a go, and we'll just go in order of position. So Ezra and Lulu are up front. So I'm going to have Ezra is going to fire magic missiles at the dude that, what's his name, got with the sling stones. So she pew 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 3 magic missiles. For 8 damage. Go ahead, Lulu. You may take another action.
Okay. There was a mother rat, and she's the biggest one in the room?
There's the female leader of the group, and then the 5 males. They're all equipped with short swords. They have hand crossbows, and they're kind of frantically trying to work their way through this bramble that's been created.
Okay, but does the female look like she's the biggest one?
There's no size difference. She's actually a little bit smaller because she's female.
Okay. Can Lulu tell which one looks like the most of a problem to deal with? Like,
it's not really, you can't really tell that
mentors?
about them. Yeah, they all look kind of similarly dangerous.
All right.
Yeah. There isn't one that stands out as like...
Fairy Fire.
Go ahead.
I want to cast Fairy Fire, but I don't know which target to go for.
It's 6 to 1, half dozen the other. There isn't one that looks more formidable than any of the others. What's that?
I guess just roll a d6. I guess just roll a d6 and that one gets the fairy fire.
Okay. I have them numbered, so go ahead and roll your d6 and tell me what you got. That was quite a d6 roll. Dave, you're no longer green, by the way. Can you go back to being green? I kind of liked it.
Noticed. Well, I can turn my hardware acceleration back on.
On the die.
What was it?
A 6.
6. Okay. So this purple illumination licks of flames encircle the female, whom you know to be kind of the leader of the gang. I believe that gives you all advantage to attack her. Fairy fire. Each object. Oh, no. It's a 20-foot cube, so they all light up. Each object in a 20-foot cube within range is outlined in your choice of color of light.
Oh, my. That's amazing.
It gets a dex save. So here's what's the color of this?
Well, because we're having trouble with green today. Green it is.
Okay, so this really cool green, and it's various shades of green, kind of like what Dave's screen looks like right now. Dave is now fairy fired. Jacob is in fact, his illusion would be outside the area of effect, so never mind. But it would have been a cool thing. So they have to make dex saves. Is it DC 12 again?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 of the males do not glow, but it's this really cool, like the room kind of lights up in this mysterious greenness because everything in there gets surrounded by the fairy fire light outline. The vines, the thorns, the shrubbery, all the stuff that grew up, and the debris, the table, and 4 out of 6 of the were-rats, including the female leader, light up. And they, all of your attack rolls now have advantage, and it lasts for a minute. Nice play. Okay. Don John is going to fire away with his sling. First attack. Hit. Second attack. You got 11 advantage. Miss. Third attack. Nat 20. Okay. And he's plinking the same dude. So he gets 5 damage plus a d4 is 8. And then he hit one other time. 4 is 12. Okay. So he hammered the same were-rat that he hit before with 2 more sling stones. One of them was like, you could hear it crack against this thing's skull. Man, it was a hard hit. Ethan, would you like to do something?
I would.
I'm assuming you have a ranged attack you can make.
I'll have to look on my character sheet and make sure. I'm going to cast a spell.
I thought you might.
And I'm going, it's really all I know, to be totally honest, and all I've got. I'm going to cast Mind Spike, and I'm going to cast it on the female.
Okay.
But I'm going to use one of my portent rolls to give her because she gets what does she get? A wisdom save.
Okay.
But I'm going to give her a 3 on that roll.
Okay, that would
my portent
that
roll.
would cause her to fail her wisdom save. So what happens to the female when you mind spike her?
So when I mind spike her, she's going to take some psychic damage as the mind spike drives deep within her mind, and it's probably really, really painful. And let's see how much she takes. Oh, well, that was a better roll than normal. She takes 18 psychic damage.
Jeez.
Yeah,
nice. You see her cringe and bring her clawed paws to her ears, and blood issues from her mouth and runs down her arms and down her ears as she's like, ugh. I mean, it looks like the most severe brain freeze you've ever seen, except she's bleeding, like brain freeze with blood.
Yeah.
And she kind of squeaks real loud, like she's not enjoying it.
And now, as as long as I continue the concentration on it, I'll know where she is as long as we're on the same plane of existence.
Well, isn't that handy?
And she can't hide from me.
Nice. Very good.
And then I'll step back around the corner. That's all I got.
Yeah, and the party is staying back, with the exception, Ezra is kind of the lead person with Don John in the tunnel. Jacob, what would you like to do from your vantage point? You can easily weasel up front and get close or visible if you need to get eyeballs.
I do need to get eyeballs, so I will be carefully making my way up to the front. And what the heck? I will toll the dead on the were-at leader.
Okay, the female.
So
Gosh, she's having a rough night
make
here.
a 13 wisdom saving throw.
Okay. And I'm going to add my plus 13 DM's bonus to the roll. That's a 28. She rolled a 15. So she managed to save.
So she's still... Okay.
I've been rolling some good saving throws
All right,
tonight, y'all.
Yeah.
You have. Too good, if you ask me.
That's why you need to assign them with portent rolls.
Yeah, which is mighty powerful. Nice.
I
Okay.
could have seen that coming.
The guy who's been hit in the head turns and looks toward the tunnel and yells, "Intruders!" because he sees Ezra. And so she is going to, and he's coming that way, moving rather slowly. They're not quite able to get to you, but Ezra can get to them because they're moving through difficult terrain. You know, they're all, the stuff is, you know, grabbing their cloaks and catching their swords. You know, they're trying to work their way through these nasty brambles that the druid called forth from the ground. And Ezra is going to take a swingy swing. She's going to say "Mauch," and the sword blazes to life, and she's going to make a swing with her flame blade, flame tongue longsword. But before she does that, she will use her cantrip booming blade, and that's going to give it extra damage. Man, she could deal some damage.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so she's going to roll. That's a 5 on the die. She gets +7 because of that sword. That's exactly armor class. Okay, and she's going to two-handed wield this thing. So she's going versatile. So this will be D10 plus 5 plus the D8 for booming blade plus 2d6 fire, because, you know, why not? So let's just see what we do here. 15 damage. This guy drops. She slices him, and he's down. And his partner, you know, coming forward, like, you know, he's like, whoa. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give him a turn to take a swipe at her, and then we're going to roll initiative from there, because you're kind of, they've alerted, you know, the group knows you're there. They know something is up clearly. So he's going to take a swing at Ezralyn with his short sword. And that's going to hit. Yep. D4. Whoops. That's the wrong thing. D6 plus 2. Okay, so that's 3 damage. Rolled a 1. And then he's going to try to bite her. When he hits, D4 plus 2, that is 6 more. So that's 7 damage. Plus things. Okay. Let's roll initiative, people. Ooh, Don John.
15 from Jacob. Or sorry, not 15. 17 for Jacob.
Okay, Ethan, how'd you do, bud?
I got a 19.
Lulu, how'd you do?
7.
7? All right.
Yeah.
Ethan, you're up.
I'm going to cast another spell. This time I'm going to take out. They're still. Some of them are still coated in the green.
They are all coated. They're all illuminated by the fairy fire. So you have advantage on all of your attack rolls, everybody. Don't forget that.
Awesome. So I'm going to take out of my components pouch. I'm going to take out a small twig, and I'm going to start casting. As I cast, the twig starts to glow and elongate until it issues forth a bolt of electricity. I'm going to cast Witch Bolt, and I'm casting it at the leader.
Okay. Is that an attack roll?
It is.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your attack with advantage.
It is.
That's exciting.
So I got a 19.
That's a hit, man.
Thankfully, I had advantage because the first roll sucked. So let me mark this spell slot off. So she is going to take 8 points of electric damage.
Okay. Yeah, and you see her fur, her whiskers straighten out and curl back up, and she shivers, and you can smell the burning fur from the electrical heat discharge. You can see sparks
I'm now
going
going
through
to
her fur. Go ahead.
I'm now going to be concentrating on that spell.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, because now you have like a line of electrical energy, like a taser almost. Yeah, great. Okay, Donjon is going to attack the were-rat that was attacking Ezralin, and he gets 3 attacks, rolling with advantage. That's a hit. That's a hit, and that's a hit. Goodness. Okay, so let's do some damage, shall we? Oh, good damage roll. 13 on were-rat number 2. Okay. So he's just, with this beautiful sling, just plinking this were-rat that's right in front of Ezra. A couple more were-rats are trying to make their way to you all, but can't quite get there because of the ones in front of them. Picture a bottleneck. You've basically got Ezra and Donjon blocking the tunnel effectively from anything walking through to get to the back of the party. Lulu is on Ezra's shoulder. There's one were-rat right in front of them, deceased, who dropped and turned into a human male, young. There's another were-rat that's been hit by the sling bullets right in front of Donjon, maybe 10 feet away. And then, excuse me, the remaining of the group is trying to come this way, except one male who is restrained and one male who's going to move toward the halfling illusion. It is Jacob's turn. What would you like to do?
Jacob is going to annoy the DM and cast Guiding Bolt to attack the female were-rat.
Okay. And it's nice that you're small because you can wiggle your way up there and get line of sight. And again, if this is an attack roll, right?
This is an attack roll, and I'm going to cast it through the illusion.
Okay.
So that it, to the best of the ability that I have, makes it look like the illusion is actually the greater threat.
Yep.
And that's a 17 plus 5 is 23 with advantage.
That's a hit. That's a good guiding bolt's nasty.
Casting that at first level only, but it's still 46 damage.
I hope you said 4d6 and not 46. Just speaking of,
but it is 18 damage.
Speaking of annoying the DM. Nice roll. What does it look like? Describe for me in great detail what happens as your illusion, Jacob. Tell us what's going on here. Let's some cinematic death.
As you steal Ethan's kill.
Illusory Jacob holds forth his hand, and this streaking ray of purple light lances out and strikes the female were-rat straight in the chest, burning a hole right through her and leaving a glowing almost like a spear or a rod through her chest as she falls to the ground, lifeless.
Nice. Yeah, and she does.
She took some damage.
Yes, she did. Did you say, so he is an illusion, right? And the only way to dispel an illusion is to hit it successfully on its armor class. Is that correct?
Actually, no.
Unless you cast,
This
like...
is a special illusion.
Oh, well, tell us more. Tell us what we've won.
So what you've won is the duplicity is it creates an illusion of yourself that lasts for a minute or until you lose concentration. So if somebody hits me hard enough and I fail my concentration check, then it goes bye-bye.
Okay.
But otherwise...
So it stays up until you
everything passes
unconcentrate.
harmlessly through.
Nice. That's awesome, dude.
That's right. This
Okay.
is not like mirror image.
Right. This is not your father's
which
illusion.
does have an AC.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
No. But I do have mirror image, and I'm seriously thinking of adding that to the distraction factor.
Nice. Well done.
Because if one Jacob wasn't enough, 6 will be.
Yeah. Ezra steps forth and bellows a roar, bearing her tusks at the were-rat in front of her who bit her. And she's going to take a swing with her flame tongue. And we're rolling at advantage, thankfully. Still not incredibly great, but it's enough. And she two hands. I mean, you could just tell she's pissed. And she two hands this guy. And Booming Blade is still rocking and rolling. She's using that. Oh, there's some damage. My heavens. 3 times 8 is 24. It goes down. She slices its arm off.
Wow.
It goes down. And you can hear the wound cauterize in places and smell the burning fur and flesh as the flame blade just cuts a gash. And it drops. Following Ezra are the were-rats. There are 2 advancing. There's 1 stuck. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Yeah. 2 advancing, 1 stuck. Let's see if the 1 stuck gets unstuck. That's a 16. That gets your DC, right, Rebecca? Yeah, I think it was a 12. Okay, so that's his action. He's
DC?
Yeah, for your entangle.
Oh, yeah.
Your
sorry.
spell DC, yeah. So he's free, but that was his action, so that's it. The other 2 are coming. 1 is coming toward the group, and 1 is going to attack the illusion. And he goes up and swings at it just angrily after watching it kill the leader. And his blade passes straight through it, and he's just dumbfounded. So he tries to bite it, and he hits nothing. Yet Jacob remains. The other one...
The illusion that does this.
Yeah. The other one is going to step up and attack Ezralyn. And in fact, Donjon is going to step forward, so I'm going to give it a 50-50. 50 and lower, it's Ezralyn. Above 50, it's Donjon as far as who he's going to attack. That's a 78, so he's going to take a short sword swing at Donjon with a 19. So he opens up a gash. Whoops, hang on there, people. Across the shoulder of Donjon. For... Ooh, rolls a 6. Nice. So Donjon takes... Where is it? 8 damage. And then he's going to lean in and bite him. And that... Oh, it's plus 4. That hits. For 3 more damage. Okay. Let's go on to Lulu. You have one pretty close to in front of you, probably within about 5 feet, Lulu. Donjon just got gashed and bitten by this were-rat.
All right. And Lulu will cast Poison Spray,
Nice.
which I believe is a 10-foot range.
Great.
Con save of 12.
Okay. cocked. Did not save.
Aha!
So what happens?
Oh, well, I rolled like shit, so 1 point of damage, poison damage.
Okay. Is there any other effect from the
Lame.
poison? Yeah, lame. You're right. It's just the poison damage. Okay.
Like she's dribbling.
Great. Okay. And are you gonna remain on Ezra's shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I guess Lulu will wipe her jaw because that was more like a dribble than a spray.
Right. Very good. The leader, it's her turn, and she will lay face down, deceased on the floor. Ethan, you're up. There's a were-rat engaged with Donjon. Lulu just poison sprayed it. There's a were-rat that just took a swing at the illusionist or the illusion across the room, and there is a were-rat facing you all, trying to make his way towards you through the difficult terrain of all of these brambles and the like.
Well, I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to cast Ray of Frost at the one that Lulu went after.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do. And they're still covered in that. I get advantage still, right?
Advantage on your attack rolls. Yes, they are still illuminated by the fairy fire.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So I got a 15.
That strikes.
And they'll take 7 points of frost damage, and then they'll lose 10 feet of movement until my next turn.
So that dude can only move 5 now because he's in difficult terrain, and he's lost 10 feet of movement. Okay, Donjon. Like this guy with a dagger, since they're in melee now. Okay, attack number 1. Oh, that's a percentile, not a d20. Buffoon. Okay, that's a hit. That's a hit. Thank goodness for advantage. And that's a hit. That's all I'm going to say. Thank goodness for advantage. So he hits 3 times, just gash, gash, gash. Nothing fancy, just slicing away at this were-rat. And he deals him 8 damage. And it's looking a little rough. Following Donjon is Jacob. Will the real Jacob please stand? Go ahead, Jacob. You're up.
So the illusion has 1 were-rat attacking him?
Yes, in melee.
All right. All right. Well, we'll let that one frustrate itself for now. Is there another fresh were-rat in the mix going toward the group?
Yes, and it's just coming that way. It was the one that was stuck that was restrained. He's behind. Okay. He's behind the were-rat that's right in front of the group by about 15 feet.
All right. That one's going to get a guiding bolt in the back.
Okay.
Why? Because I don't care.
And roll with advantage.
Rolling with advantage is a 20 going to hit.
Yes.
Okay. That's a dirty 20, not a natural 20.
Okay.
And, love that. Boxcar is on the first set of dice. And so that's 12, 15, 17 damage straight through the back. Yeah. And the joy of that is not that it matters, but anyone who's the next attack roll against that guy has advantage.
Yeah. Yep.
But we have advantage anyways. So.
Yep. Okay, so there are 2 harmed. One is in melee with Donjon. One is about 15 feet behind it. Both looking a little rough. And then there's one unharmed who's over there battling the illusion who just zapped a guy. Anything else, Jacob?
No, that's it.
Okay. Ezra's going to make her attack with her flame blade. Man, it's just a good thing she's got a big bonus to hit because she's rolling attack rolls very poorly. She does the booming blade again, so D8. She's using 2 hands, 2d6 fire plus a d10. Here's her damage. Oh! 18, 24. She erases Were-Rat number 3, the one that was in melee with Donjon. So, if we had enough cheese, that's nice. Yeah, so it is that Were-Rat's go, and it's going to come to Ezrealin and Donjon, and I'm once again going to roll to see which one it's going to attack. Same scenario as before. 50 and lower, it'll hit Ezra. And that's a 44, so it's going to make a sword attack. I need to check something. Okay, that's fine. All right. That's a hit. 6 plus 2, that's 3 and 2 is 5. Man, Ezra's getting banged up. And here's a bite. And that's a hit. Man, these things have been biting very well. For 2 more. Yeah, Ezra's looking rough. Okay. She's been bitten twice. Donjon's been bitten once. Lulu, it's your turn. You just watched Ezra get attacked by this Were-Rat. It's right in your face.
Lulu will cast Cure Wounds. How badly does Azraelin seem hurt?
Oh, pretty bad. She has 6 hit points out of 29 left.
Oh, okay. I'll cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level then.
Nice.
Onto Ed. That'll be a total of 14 points healed.
Nice. Thank you. Ezra thanks you. She feels the warmth of your deity's Chantal. Magics and divine healing pass through her.
And as her bonus action, she will dream of Dragonfire bonbons.
Oh, chili stuffed bonbons. Dragonfire chili stuffed bonbons. The menu continues to grow at the Stonehill Tavern. Very nice. Okay, we're back to the top. Ethan, there are 2 left in the room. One is unharmed, battling the illusion. It keeps trying to fight it, and it's not having, it's like putting its sword right through it. It's biting it, and then nothing's happening to the illusion. And it seems to be just growing more and more frantic as time progresses. And then you have a wounded one that's in melee with Donjon and Ezra.
Does the wounded one look pretty rough, or?
Yeah, it looks
not too bad.
Looks bloodied. If that means anything to you.
Yeah, I guess. It means it's wounded, I guess.
In 4th edition, that was actually a level of woundage that indicates half hit points are gone, bloodied.
Oh.
So there you go.
Bloodied. I think I'm gonna fire another witch bolt, but I'm gonna fire it at the one that Bonbon and Ezra are fighting.
Okay. And you may attack with advantage.
Yep. And I'm clicking things on my computer I don't mean to click, so I'm gonna stop doing that.
You know what, that causes me to click even more things faster, which always makes it better. You got frantic response clicks. Always make it better, yeah.
Well, I'm pretty slow, so I can't do frantic. I got a 24 to hit.
Okay, so that barely hits their 12 armor class.
I thought it was going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
I almost hit him twice if he's got a 12 armor class.
Yeah, you did, technically, yeah.
So he's going to take, he's going to take 12 points of electric damage.
Yeah, and he just kind of tenses up. And it's like it releases, and the thing is attached to him, that bolt of energy, and his eyes and his ears are smoking, and his fur is smoking and smoldering. He's looking really rough, man. You crisped him up like fresh bacon.
All right, Jacob, steal this kill that I'm trying to steal from Ezra.
Donjon is going to make 3 dagger attacks Nat
Oh.
20.
Bonbon's going to steal it.
He kills it. I mean, he shreds this thing with his Nat 20. He also hit once and only one other time. So he drops it, and it just lays there smoldering. And all of the were-rats are turning into humans, rather young, early adult to late teens.
Sad.
Yeah, they're all nasty humans. There's one left unharmed over at the illusion. It is Jacob's turn.
Right. Let's see. Well, hey, why not? We'll do a guiding bolt through my illusionary Jacob.
What are we saving them for?
Yeah.
First level. And let's attack with advantage. 15 hit?
Yep.
All right. Damage is 9, 10, 15 damage.
Okay. Very nice. So you zap him good, and his fur and everything smolders. Again, you guys are like electrifying these things. 15, you said?
Yeah, 15 damage.
Okay, great.
The damage is actually radiant.
Or radiant. Yeah, that's right. Guiding bolt. You're right. I got so entranced with the witch bolt that lost my cool there.
Yeah. Well, the witch bolt's very entrancing.
Very nice. Very nice.
Which
okay.
is shocking when you think about it.
Yeah, it really is.
Yes.
Ezra is going to make her way across the room. And she can only move about 15 feet because of the difficult terrain of the... Actually, no, she can go around it. As I look at this, yeah, she can make her way around the walls. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, she can get there, and she's going to take a swing with this, with advantage with this here flame tongue. And that is a significant hit. Doom, doom, doom. And that is 16, 17 damage, and it drops.
All right. A significant hit, not critical.
No, it's just a really high regular hit. And it drops, and the room falls silent except for the squeaking of the rats in the northeast chamber. There's an opening that goes into that. There's also a tunnel that goes southeast corner of the room out to a door. And you are out of initiative unless you're going to engage the rats in the other room. Then we'll just keep it in the same initiative.
You mean actual rats?
Giant rats.
Yeah. Might as well. How many
In which case, it would be the rats' turn, and they just kind of, they're scurrying around in that room. Lulu, you're with Ezra. You can see 4 rats in that room. The room is about the same size as the one that the party and the were-rats were in. You have clear line of sight. Closest one to you is about 25 feet.
Okay, now these are
Giant
were-rats, not regular rats, right?
These are giant rats. They're really big rats.
Not were.
You really don't know.
Creatures of nature.
You're really not sure, honestly. Because were-rats can be rats, they can be rat-humanoid hybrid, and then when they die, they revert back to their humanoid.
Okay. And how far are they from us?
The closest one to you is about 25 feet away in the next chamber over. They're all kind of against the far wall, kind of scurrying like rats will do, you know. And there's a door in that chamber on the far wall.
Okay, so they definitely see us then. Okay.
Oh, they know you're there. Sounds of battle and electrocutions and plants growing in the room. They're pretty well aware of what's happening.
Lulu will jump down from Ezra's shoulder, spear at the ready, and just like slowly approach in kind of like a circular fashion, like trying to determine if these are just animals or actual like threats.
I mean, they're big ass rats. You could ride on one.
Right, but an animal can be scared and just be an animal versus something that's
Yeah.
out to
So
legitimately hurt you.
they see you and they chitter at you and they bare their fangs and they seem to be kind of cornered and not welcoming.
Okay. This is going to take that as a scared thing, not like a attacking thing. Because if they were attacking, they'd be attacking her. She would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Do they look like they're like skin and bones, or they look like fat and healthy?
Oh, they're big rats. Yeah, they've been eating something. And from your upbringing, they feed on, they'll kill and eat things. They'll eat dead things. They'll eat garbage.
Okay, well, Lulu will hold an attack with her spear if one charges at her.
Okay.
Otherwise, she's going to stay in a defensive pose.
Okay. Very good. So Ezra sees Lulu enter the room and stand menacingly, keeping four giant rats at bay with her spears. They chitter at her and kind of move. They're not charging her, but they don't look real happy. Top of the order, Ethan. You're still in the tunnel.
I'm still in the tunnel.
There's still the entangled mess of plant material, all from the south wall, 20 feet out. So there's basically, you saw Ezra go up the west wall, past the door that you came in through when you were in this room last time, around, past, and through the illusion, over to where Lulu had just run into the others. So you could walk all the way around and not be stuck in all that bramble and thicket that the druid called forth.
Could I walk around the room and get to within 15 feet of that opening where those rats are?
You're within 15 feet of the opening, like right behind Ezra.
So what I want to do is I want to cast, although I want to cast it, around Ezra. I don't want to cast it through her.
Okay.
But I want to cast Burning Hands at the ratty rats.
Okay. Set the 15-foot cone.
So that would create a 15-foot cone. They get a dex save.
The only challenge you have with that is Lulu is in front of Ezra in the room.
Oh, okay.
Keeping them at bay with her spear and magic helmet.
Well, then I won't do that because that seems unwise.
Yeah, you don't want to cook the kobold.
Could I? Do I have enough movement to get up to her, or have I?
You could double move to her. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to double move because then I couldn't cast my spell. Can I see rats from where I'm at?
Yeah. I'll say you're with Ezra, and you can see Lulu's about 15 feet ahead of you all, and about 15 feet ahead of her are the four rats kind of packed together in one end of the room near the door. The door is kind of on the northeast corner of the room.
So I think what I'll do is, given that, I will fire a ray of frost at one of the rats.
Okay. Have at it. We are no longer attacking with advantage because these beasts are not lit with fairy fire.
Well, I rolled a 16.
That will be sufficient.
So that rat, is going to take 2 points of frost damage.
Okay.
And we'll lose 10 feet of movement. Take that, rat.
Okay. Yeah, so Lulu, you see Ethan kind of step forward, and this line of frost goes and hits one of the rats, and its fur, frosts over, and it looks like it's moving slowly. It's not chittering and moving around like the others are. Anything else, Ethan?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Don John is going to double move and get into the room, and he's going to stay in the southeast corner with his sling at the ready. So now, Lulu, Don John is in the room with you. You're kind of along the west wall with your spear. The room is only about 30 feet by 30 feet. It's not a big room. And Don John is in there with you. Jacob, it's your turn.
Yeah. So are these rats able to get out of this room, or are they just...
They would have to come through the party to exit or find a way to open the door.
I am going to use thaumaturgy to see if I can open the door if it's unlocked.
That door is not locked.
So I instantaneously cause an unlocked door to fly open.
It opens.
Which is one of the thaumaturgical spell options. They give them an opportunity, the rats an opportunity to exit.
Okay. Anything else?
Yep. In doing this, I walk around the area writhing with the writhing mass of greenery that's trying to suck us all in. And as I'm going up to this next area and come up to my illusory duplicate, I high five him, and they cast the thaumaturgy to cause that door at the end to sort of slam open. And
okay, so
there's two Jacobs looking down into this area.
Nice.
having done the high five.
Great. So you're there with Ethan.
I want to give I want to give an inspiration to Jacob for high-fiving himself.
Nice. You may do so.
Because that's awesome.
Very well done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome.
Okay. Ezra takes a turn, and she looks at you and sneers. She goes, "I hate rats." And she moves into the room, and she can get there. So she's going to take a swing with her flame blade, boom blade, and hit. And again, she's got all this dice to roll. Damage. And she's going to cut one of the rats in half. The thunder damage, the fire damage, and it just curls up and shrivels and dies quite easily. It is the rat's turn, and the 3 remaining rats immediately scamper through the door and down the tunnel and away. And you are out of initiative.
All right.
And there is about 30 more seconds. No, about 15 more seconds of Fairy Fire and Entangle. And when Entangle drops, I'm assuming you're all just going to let that go. All that plant material just kind of withers and turns to dust and just kind of desiccates on the floor. And so I would like to award Lulu an inspiration for her use of spells during that combat. That was really effective. That really helped you out with those advantages on the attack rolls. I know that helped Don John immensely. So well done. Excuse me, Lulu. Yeah. And so there you are. You're in this double chamber. The door to the northeast is open. The rats have exited. There's the door in the north wall. That's the door you entered in when you first came to see the were-rats. You have 6 corpses, all female, all human, 1 female, 5 male. They all have like short swords and pouches and the like. There's a table with some gold dust and some small nuggets. There's, 2 sacks and a bunch of debris and so forth. What would you like to do?
Let's search them for loot.
What's in the sacks? Well, I don't think we're going to get to keep anything that's on it.
Don John goes to the table and starts looking and gathering gold dust and nuggets and things. Kind of, it looks like he's almost like taking inventory, sort of a process. Each of the were-rats has a hand crossbow and a short sword. They each have pouches And I'm going to say on all of the 5 males, you roll those bodies, and you come away with 61 copper among them, 13 silver, and 10 gold.
Okay.
The short swords and the hand crossbows are functional. There's nothing fancy about them. None of them match. So you would guess that they're probably, they've been picked up along the way by victims, from victims and the like. The female, the leader, also has a pouch, and she has a very, very nice looking short sword and a very nice matching dagger. Does anyone have any sort of armory, weaponsmithing, forging, skill, knowledge, lore?
Not me, said the wizard.
Not me, said the cleric.
Well, these are very nice.
I would assume Ezra does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about Ezra. Lulu, what did you say?
Her dad's like a blacksmith.
What dad? Said the Druid.
So Ezra goes over and picks up the sword and the dagger. Oh, yeah, these are fine blades. Very fine. They look to be dwarven make from up north. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if these came from Mithril Hall itself. We should keep these.
Well, we'll grab those. Yeah. Okay. Do you have money in that pouch?
That pouch does have some jangy when you shake it. You dump it out, and there's 37 electrum pieces. I'm a firm believer in including electrum. 2 electrum per gold.
Sweet.
It's a nod to my Canadian friends.
Hey.
There's 41 gold. There are 2 nicely cut and polished blue gems. Somebody have like gemaliciousness? Any kind of?
John does.
Yeah. He immediately sees those. Those are sapphires. Those are worth some money. Probably over 100 gold each.
Okay.
There's a nice pile of gold over here on this table that they've been busy here. This is a producing mine for sure. I mean, there's got to be more of this, but it wouldn't surprise me if this was the bulk of it. Yeah, he opens up the sacks, and he kind of grins. He's like, "Ho!" and he pulls out 10 fist-sized chunks of gold. Well,
wow.
These are a good 50 gold apiece. Tell you what, and he throws one at Jacob. To Jacob, not at Jacob.
Jesus Christ. Jacob dodges.
No, he throws it. He throws it to Jacob.
My illusion is gone.
Yeah, he throws it to you, and then he throws you another, and he does this.
Jacob's gonna dodge.
Okay. Well, Ezra just palms the one when he throws it.
Not that strong.
When he throws it to Ezra, she just palms it, and then he throws her another, and she catches it. And he looks at Ethan. Are you ready? I don't want to hurt you, boy. And he gives you a nice underhand soft toss.
No.
It's heavy.
All right.
It's a gold chunk.
Okay.
And he throws you another one. Each of these are worth 50 gold. Would that cover the extermination? And he hits Lulu, gets 2 to Lulu and 2 to Jacob. 50 gold each, gold nuggets.
Oh, so we got
So he just gave you 100 gold.
So we each got 100 gold. Yeah.
How big are these nuggets?
They're big. They're they're like
gold pieces. So it's
they're nice.
Well, Lulu tried. He gave her 2.
Ezra will take yours. I'll carry them for you.
Okay.
And then he gives you this.
Funny, but okay.
He gives you the sack that they were in, for transportation purposes, and opens the other sack. There's 82 silver, There's 450 copper. And there's a strange-looking pair. It looks like maybe goggles, like eyewear. Very fine-looking goggles.
Okay.
Can 406 copper's a lot. So can Lulu like for funsies jump in the bag and like start like curling up in it like a little dragon would with gold?
Sure, and the copper pieces, it is a lot of copper pieces, but they're small.
Yeah, but she's 2 feet tall,
Right. But yeah, she could get in there and roll around in the copper for sure, because 450 pennies is a lot of pennies.
You all hear her like oh.
She's rolling around in the copper in the sack. The goggles are. There's like a leather thong that you can fit, and they go around your head, and it looks like sort of like the upper half of an owl's face. There's almost like a little beak that would go over your nose, metallic. It's like kind of bronze, and there's these eyes. It looks like owl eyes, and there's these bluish green lenses. They look pretty cool. And he says, "You all can have whatever. You can have those for."
Jacob will pop the goggles on and see what they look like on him.
Okay, looks fairly ridiculous, like
Awesome.
perfect. Okay.
Any visual acuity changes?
Well, it's hard to tell in here, but it looks like that the light seems a little brighter to you, like all these torches and oil lamps. It's almost like, ooh. It like enhances that almost. It's like almost to the point where it's more difficult to see clearly, if that makes sense. But man, you don't have any trouble seeing down that dark tunnel that's out the open door where the rats went.
Sweet.
And the bit of light that's down that dark tunnel seems brighter than those oil lanterns did earlier.
You just made my day.
You have dark vision out to 60 feet. These are goggles of night. They don't require attunement, apparently, because it says nothing in here about that.
Awesome.
You may want to look that up, but I've just told you what it is. It strikes me as a kind of object that as soon as you put it on, there it is. So if you want to see what they look like, they are in D&D Beyond. So you have goggles of night.
Nice.
Thanks.
Don John looks around. So, I mean, I don't know what else is in this place, but I assume that you feel sufficiently compensated for helping me exterminate these rats. I mean, I'm sure this place has got more rats in it, but I'm hoping that was it for the were-rats. We need to.
Yes,
We need to look through this place and find our dwarves.
Yeah, I think we can help you look around.
So there's an open door. There's a door in the southeast corner down a short tunnel in the room where the were-rats were located. Which way would you like to go?
Say it again. What are the options?
Okay, so you're in this dual chamber, right? And you're in the smaller of the two where the rats left. That door that's in that eastern wall is open. That's the one Jacob opened. The rats went out that door. There's also a door in the southeast corner of the other chamber that you can go through and go out.
Let's go through that one in the southeast corner.
Okay. So you go back into the chamber where the gold was and so forth. Don John, you see he grabs a strong box that was laying there and puts the gold in it and closes it and buries it under a bunch of rubble and debris and stuff, a couple dead bodies over it. And you open the door, and it's an irregular shaped cavern. It's about 30 feet wide, and it kind of wraps around behind you to the right, to the south. And there's a tunnel straight east. You're facing east, and there's picks and wheelbarrows and shovels and mining gear just kind of strewn about. Some of it looks to have been stacked orderly style, and some of it looks like it's been gone through.
Okay.
Ezra kind of steps up and pokes around with her blade, which is no longer flaming, and just kind of pokes through the stuff. Doesn't see anything. She sticks her head around that, and it's just an empty extension of the cavern. Again, there are still the oil lanterns hanging on the walls at about 8-foot intervals across the hall from each other, or across the chamber. And she leads you out and down the tunnel. And it goes due east for about 20 feet and turns left, which is north, and then turns a quick right and goes up some stairs. It only goes right for about 10 feet, turns left, goes up some stairs. And there's a door on the right, and the tunnel turns left.
Well, let's take a look at this door.
Okay. It's like the other doors. It's wooden with iron banding and iron hardware. She opens the door, and all these doors are silent. They're oiled well. And you can tell this is a functioning operation. And that door goes into about a 20-foot tunnel, and then that room opens up into a large area with, and by large, I mean like 100 by 100 feet. And there are various shafts that go down into the ground, and you see block and tackle and cabling and ropes and like scaffolding that might lower into these pits. And it looks like you may have found the entrance to the mining operation. And across that chamber, you see another door.
Do we hear any mining activity?
You do not. The ropes that are hanging down into the mine shafts, there's 4 of them. They're about 20 feet, roughly circular-ish. There are some oil lanterns. You look down there, you can see they're illuminated going down. And they go down pretty far. But you don't see or hear anything that sounds like mining activity at all.
And there's a door across the way.
There is.
Well, let's check that door out.
Yeah, so you go to the door, you can open it, and behind it is another cavern, and you see 5 rather hungry-looking dwarves, all kind of cursing, and they have daggers, aimed at the door when you open the door, and they're all kind of standing there, sort of slack-jawed when you open the door. And it appears that you found the miners. Don John steps in. Well, men, you did good holding up back here, keeping yourself safe, but the were-rats are gone, and I'm your new overseer, Don John Raskin. How is everyone? And they all kind of stand there and look around, and they look at you. And he starts talking to them, gathering names, getting the story of what's going on. And it seems that the were-rats came in, and there was a battle. There are 8 dwarves buried around the leg of the mountain that were killed. There's access to that area through a tunnel out of this room. And these are who's left. There are makeshift weapons, pickaxes. They're kind of grimy and dirty, but a little scratched up and bruised. But other than that, they are okay.
Well, it seems like our work here is finished, Jimmy John.
Well, let's find out. Jacob will ask the dwarves if there were more than... How many have we killed of the were-rats? 6, 7, 8?
I think there was 9 that were killed.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
10, I'm sorry. There were 10 that were killed, and there's 5 that survived.
I meant were-rats.
Were-rats, not dwarves.
Not dwarves.
Correct. Well, there's 10 deceased miners, 5 survivors.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get a sense from the miners if we've basically encountered all the were-rats, or if there might be others that they know of hanging around.
So I think there were 7 were-rats.
Yeah. Yeah, they killed 3 of them.
I believe we've got them all.
Yeah, they killed 3 of them.
Right.
There were 10.
Okay.
And
so
they thank you in their gruff, awkward manner. Don John Says, you're going to need to tell that town master that we need more help up here. So we need to get word back to the ownership of the mine. So if you wouldn't mind passing along a message, we're going to need foodstuffs, probably some clean clothes. Looks to be plenty of equipment. And I do have some food here, but in order to get these guys healthy and whatnot, we're going to need some foodstuffs, and we're going to need to replace those 10 miners. So if you would let Harbin Wester know that, I would be much obliged to you.
We'll pass along your message.
Yeah, the dwarves seem quite relieved. As Don John introduces himself and meets with them and mingles with them, you can see them warm up to him fairly quickly for dwarves. I think the fact that you can explain what's happened makes them feel pretty good. Like they trust you. You've just killed the remaining were-rats and rid the mine of the situation, the infestation. They do take you guys down that left tunnel that you didn't look down when you found the door to their room, and into the overseer's office, and that's just a hot mess of broken furniture and looks like it's been ransacked and so forth. And that's that. There's a tunnel leading west out of there, and that takes you back to where the tunnel where the rats escaped into. That'll take you back into the dual chamber where the were-rats were. So you've basically made a kind of a loop around the back end of the surface complex here, and found what there is.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Well, we will. Ethan will tell Don John that we're going to head back to Phandalin now. We'll convey your message to the town master.
Very, very grateful for your help. Please be sure to explain everything in detail and make sure he understands the good work you've done out here to help take this mine back. And of course, let him know I rewarded you. And you'll get your reward from him for bringing me out here, but that was a lot more than we bargained for. So, and he offers a very firm handshake to anybody who will accept it.
Quick question. Is there any indication, like a map or a written journal or something, of where these were-rats came from? Because I seem to recall that there was a worship place for Saturn.
Yeah, they described an old ruined shrine to Savras that they were holed up in for quite some time until the orcs ran them out. And in fact, if you recall, they were trying to get you to leave by offering, hey, if you go out and clean out our lair, we will return to it. And they told you about this shrine to Savras that's just a few miles south of Coneybury, which is well east of here along the Tribor Trail. So you are aware of the existence of the shrine, and it is home to, assumed it is home to an orc or two.
Okay. Well, I'm more concerned with actually finding the place. I think it'll be a great location for Ethan to visit and the rest of us to take part in clearing out some orcs out of the goodly shrine. So it's something to keep in mind as we go.
Don John kind of chuckles. Sounds like an excellent adventure. I'm sure you'll do well.
Yeah.
Well, we have much to do here, so we're going to get busy on that. And yeah, if you could get someone to resupply us, that would be tremendous.
How late in the day is it?
It's you got here and it was like supper time. So, I'm going to guess that you've probably spent a couple of hours fussing about, the combat didn't take incredibly long, of course, but milling about and poking into these rooms and talking with the dwarves and all. It's, it's a couple hours past supper. So there's still light in the sky when you exit the entrance to the mine.
I was going to suggest that we long rest here and then go back.
I think that's wise.
It was. If you recall, you set out in the morning and got here at supper time, so it's a full day. It was about 15 miles, most of a day's journey. So
Yeah.
Ezra is not opposed to that.
We're long resting here.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Don John offers you your run of the place, any of the caverns that you feel most comfortable in. The dwarves will stay. You know, they're in the what's called the Miners' Retreat, and it's a small set of caverns. There's 3 of them, and then there's a tunnel leading out the back that presumably goes to an exit point. And then they have that big 100-foot cavern where all of the mining gear is hanging down into those 4 shafts and so forth. So they've got plenty of room. So yeah, you all can settle in one of the caverns. Ezralyn is unopposed to a long rest. That's for sure.
All right. So a long rest we do.
Let's do it.
Okay. So you spend the evening in the Mountain Toe Mine. Feel free to role play, do whatever you want to do, or we'll just have you long rest and keep moving, however you want to do it. But go ahead and give yourselves a long rest in D&D Beyond or whatever you need to do.
That's all we need to do. That's all I need to do. Rebecca, is there anything you want to do?
I mean, as long as no one's opposed to it, Lulu's going to continue curling up in that coffer bag.
Nope.
Ezra will put it right, like you feel yourself being lifted in the bag. As Ezra lifts it and sets it near a wall of the cavern that you're in, and she sits right beside it and kind of head pats you through the sack, chuckling.
Wow. Lulu Dragon Horde.
Lulu's Dragon Horde, yeah. Nice. Okay, so you long rest uneventfully. You can eat, heal, whatever you want to do.
Regain spells.
Yeah, spell slots.
That's what I need.
All right. So shall we fast forward to the morning and start your trip back to Phandalin?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Because the 3 Cataballipuses I've got for your random encounter, it was good that you long rested, for sure. Just kidding.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you awaken in the morning. Your body tells you it's morning. It's kind of hard to tell because you're inside the mine complex. You know, you're stiff from sleeping on stone floor and whatever bedroll. If you poke your head out, Lulu, you notice when she does that, there are several copper pieces that are stuck to her face from her sleeping in the sack full of copper and silver all night. She's got some little impressions and dimples from where the coins were pressed into the side of her head. But none of you are any worse for the wear. In fact, you've all benefited from the effects of a long rest. And it is the next morning.
Well, I think it's time for us to return to Phandalin.
It is indeed.
Lulu ready.
So Ezra leads you out. You get some hand claps and some handshakes and even a hug from one of the dwarves. The hand claps and handshakes come from the others and Don John, of course, as they seem to be no worse for wear, other than their, just their bumps and bruises and the like. So, yeah, so you can make your way out, and it's a rainy, dreary morning. 26 flame rule. So inching ever closer to midsummer as you make your way. I think you're headed westward to Phandalin. Let me look on the map. Kind of southwest along the hills. The hills are now on your left, and the Sword Mountains rise above them further back. When you make your way through kind of the rolling grassy plains. And you have no issues going back to Phandalin, thankfully, other than just by the time you get back, you are thoroughly soaked through. It's not a pouring rain. It's just a steady, heavier than drizzle, but not quite a pour, gray day. And you make your way back into town. Where do you go?
think Ethan would probably head to the inn.
Yep. In and a bath.
Okay.
Lulu will immediately return to the inn as well, and she will try to find.
Excuse me.
What's his name? Tobin? I can't remember his name.
Toblin.
Toblin Stonehill.
Toblerone.
Toblerone,
Yeah.
yes. Toblin Stonehill.
She will, as quick as she can, find Toblin and immediately spurt off information about dragon-fired bonbons.
He's he gives you a hug and a chin scratch, and he's just thrilled. Whatever you wish. If you wish to make bonbons, you're such a creative little culinary kobold. Whatever you wish. We already have the fire dragon bowl. What did we call that again? The bowl of dragon fire with the bread. Yes. So now it's chili and bonbons. Interesting. Sort of like a dragon bowl you can carry with you, but it's a bonbon full of chili, sort of thing. Interesting. Dragon fire nuggets, perhaps.
Like, imagine little bread bonbons just full of the chili, just
Spicy
like little
chili. Yeah. Nice. It's supper time. So he welcomes you in. I will get hot baths for everyone drawn, and you can have a private hot bath on the house, of course. And I'll call for the town master. I'm sure you'd like to see old Harbin Wester and collect whatever is owed you.
No.
Yes, that would be good. Thank you for doing that, Toblin.
Yes. Can I get you anything, or would you like to bathe straight away? And Ezra asks for an ale.
Yeah, I think an ale would be good.
Okay, Lulu, how about you?
You do have milk?
Milk. And how about you, Master Halfling? Jacob, it is, right?
You have meat.
Oh, we have all sorts of things. We have, actually, Bryphon took down a boar just this morning, so we have roasted boar. Will that be? Mead. My apologies. Yes, I have a nice honey mead. Would any of you like some roasted boar? Sorry, I thought you said meat.
Yes. Meat.
Very well.
Meat is also made of boar.
Yes, the meat is made of boar mead, yes. Very well, we'll get you a hot plate of boar meat, 2 ales, and a milk and a mead. And he scuttles off to get your baths drawn and your food ready.
Awesome. Although honey smoked boar sounds really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is pit roasted.
Yeah.
Outside.
That'll do.
But they have a cover over it so it didn't get rained on.
Pretty good too, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a good crowd in there. The usual, again, the halfling twins are at a table arguing over something, covered again in sawdust and grime and the usual kind of regulars, maybe about 3/4 full. They do have a fire on the hearth because not only is it rainy, but it's chilly, so you're happy to find a table close to the fire to begin to dry out your belongings, and your gear is soaked through, your cloaks, your traveling clothes, everything's wet. So Ezra excuses herself and goes up to her room and comes back after about 15 minutes with a change of clothes on and less gear. She leans in. So we did pretty well, I'd say. She kind of gets that. She shakes her coin pouch.
Quite the haul.
You seem surprised.
Well, I didn't expect the were-rats and the extra gold. We'll have to go to Lion's Shield Coster. Or no. We'll go to Barthen's Provisions, and we can exchange our raw gold for coin. Very nice.
And the gems.
We do have the gems. Yeah, those are beautiful.
Yes, and the gems. And he has these two weapons, these flying weapons.
Yes, I think if I take them to Line Shield Coster, we can see what they are. I mean, I know they're from up north. I recognize the work. But I just wonder if there's anything special about the blades and how those nasty vermin came in possession of them.
I could tell us whether they're magical.
That would be helpful.
Could you? They're in my room. I could go retrieve them. Should we do that here? Would people know you were doing that?
I prefer not to do it. I prefer not to do it here.
Okay. Well, we could go up to my room and or we could. He's going to put us in the stable for baths. We could take them out there and check them before we bathe.
Let's do that.
And you recall, Lulu and Ethan, you recall the customary bathing process is he puts those tubs in empty stalls in the stable with doors, so you have relative privacy. You can be heard but not seen. And so Toblin and a couple of the young servers bring out a platter with sliced, steaming hot. It's kind of like pulled pork. You know, there's some bigger chunks of meat, and then there's some pulled meat, some meat on the bone, crusty bread, kind of a dark rinded hard cheese, a very thick, rich mead, and then the 2 ales and the fresh milk. Can I get you all anything else? A feast for heroes.
This looks delicious. Thank you, Tobla.
Very well. And the town master should be here soon. And I told him to bring his coin. And he kind of winks at you guys. I take it the trip was successful. You were gone a little longer than we thought, but we thought we might see you late. But, you know, it's, what is it, 15, 20 miles out there?
It took us the better part of a day to get there.
It's a smart move to stay overnight and travel by day, even though it's pretty sloppy out there. And as you're talking, you see Harbin Wester enter and shake off all the rain, and he lights a pipe and comes over to the table. Oh, yes, very well. Good to see you all. Back safely, I see. I take it your trip was a success. Either Don John is no longer with us, or chuckles.
Well, I guess it's a little bit of both.
Oh?
Yes, he's no longer with us, and he's safely at the mine.
Ah, I see. See what you've done there. Yes, clever. And how about you, little kobold? And he kind of tries to pinch your cheek, Lulu, while you're eating and drinking your milk.
Lulu proceeds to try and bite him.
Oh, goodness. Yes, not during dinner, I see. Very well, indeed. And he kind of pulls back and looks at his fingers to make sure they're all there. Well, let's get down to it then. I believe I owe you some coin. And he kind of looks around, not trying to, he doesn't want to talk too loudly. The company of the lurking eye, looming eye, suspicious eye. What was it again? Looming eye, yes. The company of the looming eye. Another successful task. And he slides a leather pouch on the table. And you hear the familiar cha-ching of coin. I believe the agreed upon amount is in there, 100 gold. So tell me, what state of affairs is the mine in?
Well, the mine had been overrun.
Overrun? What do you mean?
Well, it had been attacked by some were-rats.
Heavens! You mean the kind that change into awful, they bite and you get sick were-rats?
The same.
Oh, I didn't know that was actually a real creature.
Well,
good God, I have too much of a temptation here. Yeah, no, I have to succumb. Sorry. I apologize. This is important role play, but as this is happening, Jacob sort of has some of his meat and just sort of lets it froth up in his mouth, and he uses disguise self to start transforming into a bipedal rat-like creature, and it goes ah.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me just, see. So is it like
Give me my brown
I'm
pants.
I'm
And
Michael
Jacob,
Jackson's Thriller when he turns into the wolf and his hands extend and the fur starts to come. Is that what's happening?
something like that. Jacob has actually seen halfling-sized were-rats too, so he has a very good frame of reference
He
for
has.
having.
If he's from Waterdeep, he sure has. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Jacob does this for maybe all of 6 to 10 seconds, and if it looks like the this guy's going to freak out too much, he's just going to snap his
His
rolling on the ground laughing.
his face is buried in a tankard of mead, and he
Yeah.
pulls it down and he wipes off his mead mustache, the foam, and he looks up as he's piling some boar onto a plate, and he stands up and kicks his chair over. By gods, someone! And he's freaking out, and people are looking.
And Jacob just snaps his fingers and falls to the ground laughing his ass off.
Lulu is laughing in her mouth a little bit.
Ezra's just like, and she kind of looks around and kind of looks the room back to their tables. Because, she's also on staff here as a security, whatever, the tap room matron. And so she just kind of, as people are staring, she kind of stares them down, and they, one by one, they kind of look away like they can't look, they just wither under her gaze. And he sits, tell me that was a prank.
And Jacob will use thaumaturgy to cause ominous whispers all around him, saying, maybe.
Okay. Please, enough. Very funny. Ha ha. Very funny. Yes, well. He drains his mead, poof, and he looks over for one of the servers and, kind of rudely, his station, and the server's just a server, kind of holds up the empty, turns over the tanker, the mead drips on the table, and he slams it down. So, goodness, that was not necessary, but entertaining, I suppose. Were rats, eh?
Before we continue, with that snapping and rude gesture, like she works here, right? So, Lulu will pull her snout from the milk. Supposed to raise hand for assistance.
He looks over at you. And Ezra, with a little foam dripping from one tusk, kind of half snarls at him. Doesn't make a sound, but she just gets this look, and he's like, Lulu, I apologize. I have offended you. I have been boorish and rude and demanding and haughty, and I will never do that again in this establishment. I apologize. And he takes your hand, if you allow him to. Very kindly, he's not trying to hurt you.
Yeah, I guess she'll let him do that, but she's just staring at him cautiously
Yeah.
and annoyed a bit.
Very suspiciously, ready to bite him if she needs to. And he makes a big show of it.
Yep.
He stands up. My lady, I deeply apologize for offending you. That was awful. And he bends down and holds your hand up and kisses it. And makes a big show of it so that anybody looking in there, can see him showing you great deference. And he...
Yeah, okay. Lulu will immediately try to bite him at that.
Okay, do you want to, make an attack roll?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Do you want to think about that for a minute?
Now I'm gonna... Nope.
Love it.
Will attempt... I don't have my card in front of me.
Well, a 10 will hit because it's a bare hand. He's unarmored, so that would be AC 10. So you definitely broke the skin. Yeah, you could do a couple points of damage.
Yeah. After after trying to bite him, or I guess she does bite him technically.
Yeah. Do you want to
Yeah,
break this? You want to break the skin?
Once she bites him, yes.
You've been putting up with this shit for
I
3
mean,
years, so I don't blame you.
yeah, no, she'll. You still need me to roll the hit?
Nah.
I think we're good.
Okay. Well, once she has bitten him and releases, she'll get up in his face and just growl at him. Town Master no deserve Lulu pets.
He nods and he
Not
looks at it.
dog.
He looks at his hand. I apologize. You are a hero and you are honorable, and all these people in this establishment, including all of the service staff, I will never ever treat them as such again. You've taught me an important lesson and a painful one. And he pulls out a hanky and tends to his hand. And he
As this happens,
Yep.
Jacob will just walk by, pat him on the knee as he walks by, and give him a cure wounds, just to heal all that up.
Okay.
Sorry. And
Okay.
then walk after the wait staff and up to the owner and say, I'm sorry about that. That was just a little joke on your town thing, whatever he is. And Jacob will lay out a line of 10 gold pieces
Oh.
and say,
Master Halfling.
for your troubles, my man.
It's no trouble. I should. And he pulls you close, grabs your shoulder before you as you turn to go, and the waitress person, the server that was being snapped at, she's kind of standing there glaring. He goes, "I should pay you 10 gold for that. That was worth every gold. No trouble at all. Keep him on his toes." You could tell they tolerate the town master because they kind of have to, but yeah. There was a lot of laughter when that happened. Yeah. So Town Master Harbin will sit back down. I beg your apology, Miss Lulu, and I will make it up to you. I do apologize.
She just glares him down every fiber of her being. She's not having any of it.
Yep. So then, I take it our heroes then dispatched the were-rats with little difficulty, I presume. What are they? What are they like? I've never seen one.
You just did.
They look a lot like that.
Okay, well that was harrowing enough. Is everyone
they aren't as lively now as they were?
Is everyone okay?
Well, I guess we'll see at the next full moon.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Isn't that when we turn into were-rats if we were bitten?
If you were bitten and failed your save, that'd be when you would turn into a were-rat. That is correct.
Yeah. So we'll see at the next full moon.
Very well. I'll be on my guard then. Interesting. Well, what other news then? How once you were able to rid the mine of the were-rats, what of the miners were? Goodness, what happened with them?
Well, it seems that many of them were killed in the initial attack. Bon told us that he needed some reinforcements and food. Yeah.
Reinforcements?
Yeah, and some food and supplies.
Food?
He wanted me to pass along that he needed some resupply.
Goodness, okay. Well, we'll have to certainly connect with the company in Neverwinter that owns the mine, but we could certainly get them food up there right away. Are they starving up there? Is this an emergency?
Well, they're dwarves. Aren't dwarves usually starving?
Well, I've known them to eat well when they can. Well, I'll send some food straight away. How are they set for gear? Do they have all they need as far as?
I think they're. It sounded like it. Their mining gear was still there. It was. They need replacement workers and some supplies, clothing.
Very well.
Food.
I can get word to Neverwinter, and we'll get some more miners and put the word out here. There may be some here who'd like jobs who could go up straight away. So we'll get right on that. Thank you for.
Well, that would be hard to. Sure, that would be a hard job to pass up. I can tell you that.
Well, I assume the mine still produces, so that would explain the poor productivity issues then. Why they sent Don John. Who's
If
but
that had something to do with it.
but who's Bon Bon?
Well, he's the the guy with the sling.
Oh, that's Don John. Yes.
Oh, that's what I said.
Not so good with names, are we? And Ezra's just kind of sitting back, rolling her eyes. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go have that bath now. And she kind of gives Ethan a look to remind him, and she heads upstairs. Well.
Any word here? Did you see your dragon?
No, we have not seen the dragon in the time you've been gone. The gnomes. I'm sorry.
On our way to the mine, we found some victims of
what?
The dragon, I believe.
Who? What? What victims?
In the road. I don't know. There were just some bodies lying in the road.
Who were they?
Orcs, I believe.
Orcs.
Oh, vermin. More vermin.
Orcs.
Yes, there's been word that the orcs in the mountains have been greatly disturbed and distressed by the presence of this great white worm. Not good at all.
Clearly killed by the dragon.
I see.
Clearly victims of the dragon.
How would one know whether something was killed by a dragon?
Well, they were frosty.
He kind of chuckles. Of course. Yes, a white dragon. Very well. Thought perhaps you were a draconologist or whatever that. Something. Dragonologist. Yes.
Well, it certainly has no qualms about attacking things in the open. These were on the road.
Well, there's nothing here. No one here that would dare stand and defy it. Certainly not orcs. But that is going to change, isn't it? Because we have our heroes. He raises his tankard. We have contraptions. And good news on that front. The second one is almost done. And the... what are there? Fibble, Stib, and Dabbledop. Yes, they have been summoned back to Nomengard. So they're going to train some people here on the operation of those contraptions, and they will be leaving as soon as that is complete, within the next few days.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I hope there was no second bug attack in Nomengard.
I think that they're the sort of the, I don't know what tinkerers, the main inventors up there, and the kings would like to have them back.
Well, that's good news.
Indeed. Everything
really
seems...
breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah. Everything seems to be calm enough for the time. But I'm nervous about this dragon if it's making open attacks. I mean, how much longer can it be before we're feeling the chill? Well, at any rate, you must be tired, so I will take my leave if you have everything you need. Is there anything else we need to discuss, or any other news? Well done on getting Don John and the Were-Rats. That's good. This is good.
Glad we were able to help.
We will send foodstuffs tomorrow, first light. And if I can round up any worthy miners, we'll send them as well. All right, then. And he stands up and he kind of nods like he does and heads out. So it's the three of you at the table. Ezra has gone presumably up to her room and then to enjoy a hot bath in the stables.
Jacob will stay in the tap room and enjoy his mead and pour some more and just people watch as things go and chuckle to himself every so often about his perceived cleverness
Yes,
of having
yes, that was
scared the crap out of
that was very nice.
Townskeeper, whatever he is. Townmaster.
Harbin Wester.
Lulu has fallen quiet by now, and she's just kind of sitting there, deep in thought.
Bryphon enters and sees you all, and her face lights up when she sees Lulu, and comes for her, kind of bounding over. You know, Bryphon's always been fairly quiet and reserved. She comes over and sits. Oh, Lulu, and she pats her lap.
Oh, and Lulu will immediately oblige
She gives you a big hug and a kiss on your cheek.
and curl up happily there.
I see you're enjoying the boar that I took this morning. Very good. It's wonderful. So, I take it you had a successful trip? Where's Ezralyn?
Taking bath, probably naked.
I see. Yes. Hot bath in the stable. Very good. Seems like maybe more of you should take advantage of that. She kind of... Rough trip and all. Well, Rhodey...
Lulu Stinky?
Lulu Stinky, yes. And she pats your head. And Mother and Rhodey and Father miss you greatly. And even, she kind of leans in, so did Toblin. Said he actually missed you too, but he would never admit it. But he did. I overheard him talking in the kitchen.
Lulu came up with new recipe.
Oh, what did you come up with?
So, bracing of Red Bull that Lulu brought home
Bowl of Dragonfire.
recently. That was smaller.
Oh?
Dragonfire bonbon.
She kind of cocks her head. So, sweet and spicy.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Very spicy.
Sounds good. Very good. Well, so what are you all doing next? Did the townmaster give you more work? What's next?
Well, we actually didn't discuss any more work with him. So I'm not sure what we'll do next. We heard of a shrine I'd like to visit at some point.
A shrine? What do you mean?
Well, we have heard rumors of a shrine to Savras.
What's that?
Which is quite unexpected, really. So I'd like to see it.
Huh, I don't know about any shrines, but sounds nice, I guess. So when are you going to do that?
I don't know. I'll have to talk it over with the others, but it would certainly be interesting to see.
Sounds exciting. Just be careful. Yeah. Lulu, Mother wanted me to fetch you home right away. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, hop up on my shoulder. She stands up and smiles. It was good to see you. I'm glad you enjoyed the boar.
She's already there.
She hops up. Lulu hops up.
It was nice seeing you as well.
Glad you got back okay. Enjoy your bath. And she wanders out. She goes over and talks to Toblin, for a couple of moments. And
just Florone.
And Toblerone, yeah. And they exit. Bryphon and Lulu exit the Stonehill Inn and Tavern. What would Jacob and Ethan care to do?
Well, I think Ethan would continue to sit by the fire and drink his ale.
Okay.
Thinking about temples to Savras.
You do have hot baths awaiting you, and a couple of
Oh,
fine blades to be looked at as well.
oh yeah. I guess we should go do that. So I guess Ethan will go and go to where the baths are. And do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, they're in the stables. You can hear Ezra in there humming some walking tune of some sort, and you see on a low bench, a wooden bench, the two weapons are laid there. Jacob, have you gone to the stable as well? You're muted.
Jacob is, no, I got you. Jacob is going to stay in the tap room, warm by the fire, just roll a relatively minor coin over his knuckles and enjoy it, mead and people watch. And then after about an hour or so of that, and then the mead is done, we'll go to the stables and have a bath and laundry.
Okay. So, Ethan, are you wanting to identify the items?
Yeah, so I'll do that. As I bathe, I will cast identify.
Identify from the tub. Very nice. Okay, so it would be two rituals,
Never
correct?
from the tub.
Yes.
It would be, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So the sword is enchanted. It's a beautifully forged blade.
Okay.
It has. Do you read Dwarvish?
I don't think I do. Let me check. I don't think so. I do not.
Okay. It has some runes on the blade down near the handguard. It's a short sword, +1.
Okay.
And the dagger also matches, and it is enchanted as well. And it too is a dagger +1. Beautifully made. You look in the blades, and there's actually a little inlay of mithril down the side of the blade, the flat of the blade. Just beautiful. And you enjoy your baths. And it is nighttime. It is 26 flame rule. Nighttime. And that is where we can draw our session to a close.
Yay, we survived.
All right, so good job on the were-rats, man. That could have gone kind of badly. And who knows, maybe it did.
About the next full moon.
Okay. Well, thank you to everybody that's been hanging out in chat all night. Appreciate you coming by and viewing. Let's go ahead and do some outros. Let's go with Ethan. Tell us where we can find you and what we should know about you.
You can. So I'm Chris, WikiVA on Discord and Twitch. My Twitter is down below. If you want to see me play Dungeons and Dragons, this is where I do it. I do it here on Wednesday nights, and it's the only place you can see it. So I hope you come by. Wiley's got a lot going on his channel. He's got a great Monday night game that's in session now. And although I've fallen a little bit behind, it is a great group of people, a great group of characters, and an interesting story. So you should check that out too. That's on Mondays.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's all. So I guess that's all you should know about me.
Very well, very well. Let's talk to Dave.
Hey, Dave. I play Jacob. Hey Wilson on Twitter, Twitch, and pretty much every other social media I frequent, which is not all of them, but a few. I play here Wednesday nights, playing Jacob, the Halfling Cleric Trickster. And as Chris mentioned, I'm also playing on Mondays, and the Monday campaign is Gears, the Warforged Fighter. It is a great deal of fun. It's a great group to play with, just like this one, and a really interesting storyline that Wiley Hobbit up there has recently hooked us all into the main campaign plot. So we're going to have some fun with that, and that's all I'm going to say about it, because it looks like a lot of fun, and I'd encourage each and every one of you, come join us. Monday night, 7:30.
All right, very good. And last, and certainly not least, Rebecca.
Hello, or rather, goodbye. This is my last session with this group, unfortunately. However, I do plan to be on a different game in the future, so look for that. So that's all for Lulu. But if you ever want some Dragonfire chili, go to Fanwood.
Yeah.
Yep, she'll be there with her family and working in the Stonehill Tavern. Rebecca, it's been a blast having you, and you've brought a lot to the game, and you've been a lot of fun to play with. So, love the kobold, and I love the chili, and great job tonight. What a way to go out! Excellent, well played.
Yeah.
And
We're gonna miss you.
we are.
Thank you.
Rebecca's going to be playing in a new game that'll be running at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sundays on this channel. It'll be set in Greyhawk. One of the players from the Monday night game is going to be DMing. And that's really, I don't know a lot more than that. I'm not even sure precisely when we'll start. It'll be probably in January. But yeah, you'll want to check that out. So I'm working my way into the larger Greyhawk community. And in fact, we're going to raid Lord Gazumba here in a minute. He's got a interesting channel. He runs a D&D campaign that's 40 plus years old. He has run over 800 adventures with the same group of guys since they were teenagers 40 years ago. We're going to raid into that channel. Tonight is Legends and Lore, where they talk all about Greyhawk lore and so forth. But yeah, so we as an old guy who started in Greyhawk, that was my first love for setting. So we're going to try to bring some more Greyhawk content to the channel in addition to what we're doing in Forgotten Realms on Mondays and Wednesdays. So stick around for that. That'll be starting in January. And if you notice down in the bottom left corner of the overlay, Jasper's Game Day Ambassador logo. I'm honored and privileged to be an ambassador for Jasper's Game Day. Jasper's Game Day is a charity that serves to support and remove the negative stigmas and sentiments around mental health issues. And more specifically, they donate all funds raised to support suicide prevention, especially in young people and military veterans. Sadly, that's a cause that's near and dear to my heart. So we're going to be doing some significant fundraising for that starting in February. We're going to do some celebrity D&D. It'll be like a 9-hour marathon of Dungeons and Dragons. It'll take us 12 hours to do it, but it'll be about 9 hours of gaming. So keep an eye out on the Wily Habit Twitches and Twitters, and also I'll put our Discord link in chat. Keep an eye out for that stuff. And we're going to be doing some random fundraising, like one-shots and that. So if you want to play, you're going to have opportunity to do that. So, and it'll be all to raise funds. All the money from those games is going to go to Jasper's Game Day for suicide prevention. So super stoked for that in 2021. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and raid into Lord Gazumba, and I'll post his info here in the chat as well. And I really, really appreciate everybody hanging out, following the game. And Rebecca, we're going to miss you. And Chris and Dave and Kayla will be back here next week to continue on the Dragon of Icespire Peak. Thank you all for hanging out.